Make 2021 your breakout year, wise man Sejal once said. That's what I wanted to do. I wrote down my goals, joined one of the best Gen Z communities online. I was in TKS, steamrolling to the future. What can possibly go wrong? Today marks the 21st day of March, the day where officially the first 21% of 2021 has passed. And heck, I did not achieve 21% of my yearly goals. But failures only make you stronger. Looking ahead, I am immensely scared to pass the rest of this year in the same pattern as I did in the last 77 days. Let's not repeat the mistakes of the past. Here are 21 failures for the first 21% of 2021. I didn't make any YouTube videos, as YouTube was one of my biggest goals. Yeah, that's kind of bad. Why? I spent a month planning out my goals without taking action. Caught up in the hype of the 2021 club and Sejal's fancy goals, I made my page look all nice and made goals that were specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound, but I didn't have an action plan. Lesson learned. Writing down your goals is not taking action. Dreaming about your goals is not making progress towards them. This was also due to the fact that I didn't set weekly goals. I felt these weeks were slipping through my fingers, but I didn't have a metric for what I wanted to get done by the end of each week that would have made it successful for me. I was rejected from the Quantum Open Source Foundation mentorship program. Lesson learned. Don't start the programming task 2 days before the deadline. I spent the first week not making any progress because I didn't feel a sense of urgency. The second week, I had Q-Hack on which I spent all of my time. This left 2 days for the programming task. But even Q-Hack didn't go well. I cheated a bit on one of the coding programs. I took a bit of someone else's code from GitHub, and I was scared to tell my teammates. I was scared that the organizers would find out, so I chickened out and I left before the open hackathon started. I let Sejal down. I was editing a video for him, but I didn't make a timeline or plan, and thus I didn't work on the video for the first 3 weeks of it being given to me. And then I went off of Discord for a bit, and I failed to communicate this with him. A call with Nadeem on March 11th. I booked a call with him to understand what the pilot program was and how he executed TCAS. I told him my takeaway was to have a clear goal of the program and then iterate your program so you're moving towards that goal. And what Nadeem said was the thing that holds you back is thoughtfulness. You could have gotten to the same conclusion if you had thought of this on your own. Lesson learned. Nadeem's tough love is damn. Nice sometimes though. Mark Garneau Math Club executive. I never checked Facebook, so I missed 3 months of meetings. I bailed on Alan. I planned to go to the Western Debate Tournament with Alan, but I dropped out of our school's debate club, so the school didn't give me a spot to go to the debate tournament, and then I bailed out on Alan, essentially hurting someone innocent. I didn't check Instagram. That means I didn't respond to Alan's DMs for essentially weeks. Dad interrupting a call with Harrison. I had a call at 7:15 a.m. I was baking apple pie simultaneously, so I was talking to him downstairs. My dad sleeps downstairs, so he got woken up by my loud apple chopping. He interrupted the call, and this interruption led me to not hear what Harrison was saying. Lesson learned. If you bother someone, tell them beforehand. Instacart pitches. Our team's recommendation deck placed top 5, which qualified us to pitch live to Instacart. Despite this success, I was pissed about this team, so I barely put any effort into making our live pitch. I tried to cook some pancakes, but the batter was just leftover flour from frying fish and almond milk mixed together. I broke a stove in my family's shared kitchen. The cause, according to my dad, I shook the pan, which jiggled the stove coily thingy and jammed the coil hard into its power source, which damaged it. I dropped my laptop on the floor. I failed the AMC. I got pretty terrible scores on both the 10A and the 10B. I had the full capability to get a 120 because I did, but I didn't study for the AMC, not even once. And I actually don't know. Do I want to spend time on math contests? Is that something I care about? I dropped some equipment. I almost broke my lamp. The table knocked into the lamp and it brought it crashing onto the floor. I grabbed the metal part of my frying pan handle, burning my fingers, and I did this twice while cooking one meal. I stayed in bed scrolling through Instagram when I woke up for 30 minutes. When I got out of bed, I felt terrible. I didn't sleep on time. For months, I planned to sleep at 9 and wake up at 5 a.m., but that never happened. Only when I made a rule that I have to put my laptop downstairs after 8 p.m. that I actually ended up sleeping on time. Lesson learned. Analyze the root causes. Number 21. So, you may have realized that more than 21% of 2021 has passed. I originally started this video on March 13th, so I would have plenty of time to get it done. However, I was taking part in a consulting challenge for the United Nations at that time, and basically that was my top priority. But I decided to impulsively start the video, and then 3 days in, I dropped it to focus on what I should have been doing. And then after the challenge is over, I had some other stuff come up and a few splotches of working on the video in between. But today, on April 25th, 26th-ish, 5 weeks after I originally started the video, I can finally say I'm done. And all in all, I spent around 40 hours on this. At the end of the day, the lesson to take away from this failure is that I probably never should have started the video. The goal to finish it by March 21st was unrealistic in the first place if I needed to spend 40 hours on it while doing the challenge and school. Although more than 21% of 2021 has passed, more than 50% of 2021 is still here. We still have this chance to make the most out of this year. We still can make 2021 our breakout year. We have 7 months to achieve the goals you set at the beginning of the year to make this year the best year that you've ever had. And last month in April was the most productive and most disciplined month I've had so far in 2021. So I'm pretty excited for the future to see what this year will bring. Keep working hard, guys. Looking forward to making 2021 your best year.